The smell of coffee and rain mixed in the air that morning when Jake sat alone by the window of a small cafe in Chicago. His hands were rough from work, his eyes tired, but his heart still carried the quiet weight of too many unspoken prayers. He was a single dad, barely making ends meet, trying to hold everything together for his little girl. But on that cold November morning, he was about to meet someone he never expected to see again, the woman who once promised to love him forever, and who now sat across the cafe in a designer suit, looking like she ruled the world. Jake didn't know it yet, but that meeting would change both of their lives and remind everyone that kindness can rewrite any story. Before we dive into this emotional story, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments below. You're watching Epic Whisper, where real hearts, real struggles, and real kindness come alive through powerful stories that touch your soul. Jake hadn't had an easy life. After his wife passed away 5 years ago, it was just him and his daughter, Lily. He worked 2 jobs, daytime as a delivery driver, nighttime cleaning offices downtown. Every dollar mattered. Every meal was a small victory. Still, Jake never complained. He found peace in small things, the sound of Lily's laughter, the way she hugged him every morning, and the little note she slipped into his lunch bag that said, "You're the best daddy ever." That morning, he was just trying to warm up before another long day of deliveries. His shoes were soaked from the rain, and he was counting the last few bills in his wallet, deciding if he could afford one more cup of coffee. That's when he heard a soft voice behind him. "Jake Turner?" He froze. That voice, it was like a memory had just stepped out of the past. He turned around slowly, and there she was, Emily Carter, his first love. Back in high school, they had been inseparable. She was the dreamer, he was the quiet one who always believed in her. They planned to move to California together after graduation. But life had other plans. Her scholarship took her away, and Jake stayed behind to care for his sick mother. They lost touch, and time did what it always does, it carried them down different roads. And now, standing there, she looked radiant, elegant in a gray blazer, with a calm confidence that only success can bring. "Emily," he said softly, almost afraid she'd vanish if he spoke too loud. "I can't believe it's you," she smiled. "After all these years." They sat down together, and for a few moments, it felt like no time had passed. She asked about his life, his work, and his daughter. Jake answered honestly. He didn't try to hide his struggles. He told her about losing his wife, about Lily's big dreams of becoming a teacher, about the late nights and early mornings. Emily listened quietly, her eyes soft but filled with something he couldn't quite read. Then she told him her story. After college, she joined a small tech startup in San Francisco. Years later, she founded her own company, an app that connected volunteers with families in need. It exploded in popularity. Now, she was a millionaire CEO, flying all over the country, giving talks about leadership and compassion. Jake smiled proudly. "You always said you'd change the world," he said. "Looks like you actually did." She laughed. "Maybe a little. But it's not about money, Jake. It's about people. About giving back." As they talked, the rain outside turned into snow. Hours passed without either of them noticing. When Jake finally looked at the time, he realized he was late for his second job. "I should go," he said, standing up. "It was really good to see you, Emily." She nodded, but there was a flicker of sadness in her eyes. "Jake, wait. Can I see you again? Maybe meet Lily?" He hesitated. Part of him wanted to say yes instantly. But another part, the one used to disappointment, held him back. "We'll see," he said with a small smile, and then he left. That night, Emily couldn't stop thinking about him. About the man who once gave her his last $10 for gas when they were teenagers. About how his kindness back then made her believe in good people. So she made a quiet decision. A week later, Jake was at work when his manager called him into the office. He expected bad news, maybe more cut hours. Instead, the manager said, "Jake, there's someone who recommended you for a delivery contract with Carter Foundation. It's a big one and steady hours, good pay. You'll be delivering supplies for their community projects." Jake blinked. "Carter Foundation?" "Yes," his manager smiled. "Apparently, they really liked your background check and reliability." Jake didn't realize it right away, but that was Emily's company, the same woman who used to doodle hearts around his name in her notebooks. Over the next few weeks, Jake started his new route. He delivered food boxes to shelters, supplies to schools, and toys to hospitals. Each place he visited reminded him of the kind of world he wanted his daughter to grow up in, a world where people helped each other. Every now and then, he'd find a handwritten note taped to the delivery boxes. They always said the same thing: "Thank you for spreading kindness." C.F. At first, he didn't think much of it. But one day, he found a note that said, "Lunch tomorrow?" E. He smiled for the first time in weeks. They met again at the same cafe. Emily looked warmer this time, less CEO, more the girl he remembered. "I didn't mean to interfere," she said. "I just wanted to help." "You've always helped others, Jake. You deserve someone to do the same for you." He shook his head. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to," she interrupted gently. "You once gave me kindness when I had nothing. Now I just want to pass it forward." Jake's throat tightened. "Emily, I don't know what to say." She smiled. "Just say yes to dinner. I want to meet Lily." Over the following months, their friendship bloomed again, but it wasn't about romance, not at first. It was about healing. Emily spent weekends volunteering with Jake and Lily, helping organize food drives. She'd roll up her sleeves, laugh with the kids, and never act like someone important. Lily adored her. "Daddy," she said one night, "Miss Emily says kindness makes you rich in ways money can't. Is that true?" Jake smiled. "She's right, sweetheart. That's the best kind of rich there is." As seasons changed, so did their hearts. Jake found his hope again. Emily found her peace. Together, they started a small community program, a free tutoring center for single parents and their kids, funded by her foundation but run by both of them. It became a safe haven for families just like Jake's once was. Every Saturday, you could see him handing out books, Emily helping with lessons, and Lily painting posters that said, "Be kind. Always." One evening, after the center's grand opening, Emily turned to Jake and said, "Do you remember what you told me when we were 17? He chuckled. "Probably something dumb." She shook her head. "You said, one act of kindness can change the world, even if it's just one person's world." Jake looked at her, eyes misty. "I guess we finally did that." Emily smiled, her eyes shining with tears. "No, Jake. You did that. I just followed your example. Sometimes life doesn't give you second chances right away. Sometimes it waits until you've been broken enough to understand the true meaning of kindness." Jake never imagined his hardest years would lead him back to the woman he once loved. But more than that, he never imagined how much good could come from one small act of care, one person believing in another. Today, the cafe still stands on that corner in Chicago. Every year, on the same rainy November morning, Jake and Emily sit by the window, sipping coffee, watching people hurry by, and they quietly pay for every stranger's order, because they both know now, kindness isn't something you lose when life gets hard. It's something you grow stronger with, and maybe, just maybe, it's what brings lost hearts home again. Not if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Epic Whisper for more stories that remind us all kindness is the one language the world never forgets.